Hi, everyone, and welcome to our September Hope Session, Recipes for Connection, Art for Social Emotional Learning. I am Heidi Parker. My pronouns are she, her. I am the Community Initiatives Manager, and I am your Zoom host today. This program is presented as part of our free Hope series, Healing Online for People Everywhere, which we created to support the resilience of our global community through social emotional arts. Each workshop offers a supportive space for connection, healing, and empowerment as we navigate the changes in our world. If you have previously attended a Hope session, welcome back. If you are new today, thank you for joining. We are grateful you are all here to create, learn, and grow together as a Today's program is in a meeting format, so please keep yourself muted until prompted otherwise. We are recording today's session in speaker view, and it's to be shared on our YouTube channel. You are welcome to leave your cameras on as you feel comfortable, as we'd love for you to actively participate. Our session today is scheduled for an hour and a half, and feel free to add questions in the chat as they arise, or you can use the raise hand function. Before we begin, we would like to start by acknowledging the Tongva Nation, on whose land the city of Los Angeles, where we are based, rests today. We hold respect and gratitude for the Tongva people, who still consider themselves the caretakers of this land. And by their example, we are reminded of our responsibility to our planet and to one another. So let's take a moment in our own way to honor the Indigenous communities of past and present on whose land you are joining from today.
Thank you so much, Heidi. Hello and welcome, everybody. Is this our cue, Heidi, to start?
I'm going to quick introduce you.
Okay, great. Okay.
But let me switch to the other slides really quick. Okay. Let me get those back up. Okay, everyone. Well, we are excited to welcome today our presenters. We have a dual team today. So first we have Dr. Jessica Bianchi. She is a licensed marriage and family therapist, board certified art therapist, and she's an assistant professor at Loyola Marymount University. She is also the clinical director of the Helen B. Landgarten Art Therapy Clinic. She thrives on collaboration and has facilitated therapeutic art services in numerous contexts, as well as provides consultation and professional development on the topics of art therapy, trauma-informed educational practices, and arts and social emotional competencies. And with Jessica today is Amber L. Cromwell. She is a board-certified art therapist, arts educator, and mental health advocate. She is most passionate about her work in community spaces, bringing people together for collaborative art making and offering opportunities for positive self-expression. She is a clinical supervisor also in the Helen B. Landgarten Art Therapy Clinic and the project director of the Summer Arts Workshop at Loyola Marymount University. So welcome both and take it away.
Thanks, Heidi. Welcome, everybody. Everybody wave. Nice to be here. Welcome to Recipes for Connection. We're all very happy to be here today. Like Heidi was saying, my name is Jessica. My pronouns are she and her. I am a professor and I'm an art therapist, licensed marriage and family therapist, and I have the pleasure of being joined today by my assistant, colleague, friend, daughter named, what's her name? Ramona. This is Ramona. And Ramona is 9 years old. For those of you that may be visually impaired, we are sitting in a Zoom room in our living room, carefully angled so as not to see any of the mess around our house. We're sitting at our kitchen table. There's some pictures behind us. There's a lamp to the other side. I am a white woman with long brown hair. I'm wearing an orange shirt with a blue bandana to match our Recipes for Connection colors. And Ramona and I are twinning today in the same orange and blue headbands. So that's a little bit about us, and I'll throw it over to Amber.
Yeah, it's like copy and paste over there. I'm Amber. I'm zooming in from California in my office. My Zoom room, I've got the reflection of the ocean with the rainbow colors on it behind me, the portrait behind me. There's a fern to my left. I am a white woman, blonde bob here, black shirt. I am also an art therapist. I'm so excited to be here. And thank you all so much for joining us. We're going to be leading you through some fun art activities. So just at the top, I thought I would let you know that you can work with whatever materials you have at home. You've got paper, markers, just sort of like as we're starting, you can start kind of collecting some of the things that you have today.
Also, you also don't need a partner today. I have a partner today, and Amber does not have a partner today. So if you do have a partner, great. If you do not, that's okay.
That's right. Hopefully you were able to grab somebody over with you today, either a roommate, a friend, a family member, but if not, we'll give you prompts on how you can still participate. So before we get started, slide number 2 with our activities, we are always looking for creative ways to check in. And so this offers us a really nice visual, because sometimes when you ask somebody, how are you doing? Especially children, right? Especially adolescents.
How are you doing?
Yeah.
Good.
See? Thank you, Jessica. When we ask people how they're doing, we often get like good, fine, whatever. This is a really lovely way to go a little bit deeper. So if you're zooming in from home, you're welcome to chat and communicate in the chat. Or maybe what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little pencil and maybe write down a little bit. Where are you in the sheep scale? So I'm going to pause for a moment. Jessica and Ramona are always going to be kind of doing this as an example at home. So we're going to mute Jessica and Ramona, and we're just going to pause for like a couple of minutes so that you can check in either by writing or in the chat or with the person that you're with today. Okay, so we're going to pause for 2 minutes starting now. So Jessica and Ramona, make sure you're facing each other. We have about 40 seconds. All right. Okay. Interesting. So Jessica and Ramona, how was it over there?
Good. Do you wanna share which one you were, Ramona? I think you're gonna show us this way. Ramona is number 5.
And 3.
And I'm number 3.
No, I'm both.
Oh, Ramona is number 5 and 3. And I feel like a 3, because I feel like we've got a lot going on this weekend, so it kind of feels like the hair's in my face.
Okay, good. Okay. Hopefully you got a little bit more than just good, right? When you checked in with Ramona, I'm noticing in the chat, we've got 5 and 7s. We got Dan, 7, thinking about all the things that you need to do. I hear that. 8. I'm seeing all over the place. It's good. It's kind of nice for us to know like where everybody is today. I mean, it is Friday, right?
Oh yeah, I'm relating to Dan a little bit too as a 7. They're saying,
Mhm.
thinking about all the things I need to do and still waking up. I could use another cup of coffee myself.
I heard that. Yeah, I think it's an 8 for me. Okay. All right. Well, that's just a little example of how we like to get creative. Okay, so let's see. Now we're going to jump a little bit into sharing about recipes for connection. Go ahead, Jess.
All right. So I just wanted to give you a little background about Recipes for Connection and how we started. Actually, we started back in 2018 in collaboration with Arts and Healing Initiative. There was a grant that was received that was aimed at helping families reunite and strengthen their relationships. And so Amber and I worked together to establish certain arts activities that we used during a 12-week in-person family art time project at the Jeff Seymour Center in El Monte. And a lot of these art activities were based on our experience working together in the Dublin Penitentiary up in Northern California. And this was work that we did where we worked with incarcerated mothers and we bused their children to them, and we did the art making projects for a week in the prison with the moms. And so we saw that some of these families that had been separated for a very, very long time and may feel kind of uncomfortable in that reunification, we found that the art activities really help them. Okay, go ahead and talk. We found that the art activities really help them to really bond and attach even after that length of time. So that's how we started. And so now what we do, we'll move to the next slide, please. Now, a lot of what we do with Recipes for Connection is we're really about offering a very wide variety of services, really all focused though on art-based social and emotional strategies that we want to use to increase children's access to mental health. Additionally, to be strengthening the relationships, peer relationships, relationships with their teachers and in their learning communities. In addition to this, we offer professional development around these areas, and we also create and train using different curriculum materials and teaching aids. So that's a little bit about us. And I'll turn it back over to Amber.
Yeah, so recipes, right? We love the metaphor of the recipe because the recipe indicates that there are ingredients. And so the whole idea behind this work that we're doing is that being creative and engaging in the art process, it offers you all the ingredients that you need to really connect with somebody. And so today we're going to be experimenting a little bit with that. We're going to do some art explorations so that you can connect in a new way. It's really not about doing an art technique. This isn't an art class. This is really just going to be about expressing ourselves. So you might find that you are able to share emotions or feelings in the process. And then also we're really, hopefully you have somebody here joining you today so that you can really get a practice in how we can attune, mirror, co-regulate. And when we do those things, when we sit as caregivers, as partners, as friends, we regulate with the person next to you, you open up the opportunity, yes, Jessica and Ramona, to feel seen and heard. And so we're going to be experiencing that a little bit. And just very quickly, we always like to establish community agreements that I will do everything I can to make this a safe and inclusive space. And this is a big one. I will be gentle with myself and others when we try new things, because you might be trying something different today. So we ask everybody here to just be gentle with yourself and have fun, most importantly. Okay, so another little creative way, there's so many creative ways to connect, but this is one we've really learned along the way. It's just a very, very quick little check-in, call and response art activity. And so basically, Jessica and Ramona, will you do this with me so everybody at home can see how this works? When I say peanut butter, you'll say
Jelly.
Jelly.
Okay, and so we're gonna change it up a little bit, and I might say it like that. Peanut butter.
Jelly.
Peanut butter.
Jelly.
Peanut butter.
Jelly.
Jelly.
So you get the idea. So Jess and Ramona face each other. Everybody at home face each other. This one's a little hard to do if you're zooming in by yourself today. But pause. We're just going to pause for a couple of moments, another 2 minutes, so that you can practice with the person with you. I'm going to put it at a minute, just a minute. Let's just take a minute. All right, go ahead. Face the person you're with. This is so fun to watch, Jessica and Ramona. I hope you're having as much fun at home. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's been about a minute. We can come back now. How was that for you two?
Good. We got very dynamic over here.
I know. I like the way you were adding in the movement too. It's like
No, it's hard not to.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. All right. So hopefully we're feeling warmed up. You know, we will ask you to kind of be silly today. That's the other really fun thing, that we get to be silly and have fun. So we're going to transition now to our first warm-up art activity. Just so you know, we're going to have 2 warm-ups, and then we're going to go a little bit more into a deep dive into an art process. But this is another example of a creative art activity. So I will offer you the instructions. I love this quote from Picasso. Every child is an artist. The problem is how to remain an artist once we grow up, because our inner voice, our inner critic gets in the way. It feels like we have to make something that looks a certain way, and we get a little stuck on the outcome, right, Jess?
Yes.
Yes. So this is a practice of letting go of that. So I'm going to guide Jessica and Ramona, and hopefully at home you can be setting yourself up for this art activity. So Jessica and Ramona, what I'd like you to do is move your chairs slightly so that you're really facing each other. This art activity is called a blind contour drawing. So you're going to grab a piece of paper and a marker. And you might want to have something like a little bit stiff to draw on, like maybe Ramona has like a coloring book she's going to draw on. Perfect. A book or something a little bit stiffer, is you're going to look at each other, and the children's dictionary. Perfect. You're going to grab your mark making tool. You're going to decide who's going to be the drawer and who will be the model. Okay, Ramona's going to be the drawer, and Jessica is going to be the model. So if you're at home, folks, you can always feel free to use myself as the model, or I might, there's like a picture on my wall right here. So I might turn and face that and do this practice a little bit there. So you're going to put your mark making tool on the paper. And the objective for this art activity is to not look down. So just completely giving your total focus and attention on the person who's right in front of you. And you're going to slowly be following the contours of their face. Now, you're really going to have to resist the urge to look down, because that's, of course, the first thing you're going to want to do is look down. But let's see what happens. If you're doing it, if you're laughing and you're having fun, you're doing it right. There's no wrong way to do this, everybody. So I am going to have Heidi put a little bit of music for us so that we can just all do this practice together. And we're going to set up the time for 5 minutes. So for the next 5 minutes, a little bit of music's going to play, and you can take turns doing a blind contour of each other, and then we'll check in afterwards. Now switch so the other person is the model. So we have a couple more minutes. You can make another one, or you can add a little color to the drawing that you made. Loving this, Ramona. I'm digging it. Okay, we have just about like 50 more seconds. Okay, but I'm kind of reading the room. It feels like we can pause and start back up again. Oh my goodness. I hope that you had fun doing that. I could do it alone here. I actually made Jessica and Ramona. How did it go for you two, Jessica and Ramona? It looked like you were having fun.
We were. We were trying not to laugh because we kept making funny faces at each other.
Yes, and Heather in the comments said this was hilarious. Good. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I think it's so much fun to do this activity with anyone who will be willing to do it with you. Anyone. It's so much fun. Do it with a coworker, do it with a family member. Love it. Okay.
It's also fun too, Amber. Sometimes we do this game, but we do when people are moving. So it becomes more of like a gesture drawing where like you are kind of trying to capture like the movement as well. It's hilarious.
Oh, I love that. That's so fun. I love it. And it was like such an opportunity. I mean, we could see Jessica and Ramona just like, you know, the light that was happening between the two of you. It was like electricity. It was really beautiful to watch.
Yeah, and we weren't worried about how it was going to look. It's just fun to, you know, do something together.
Yeah, love it. Okay, so we're going to do another warm-up activity before we get into a couple more slides. And this one is called Communication Drawing Challenge, excuse me. So this one is going to require patience. It's going to require attention and focus. And it's really going to require that beautiful, like really listening when someone's speaking to you and giving you instructions. It is a little exercise in that. All right, so Jessica and Ramona are going to set this up for everybody at home. Okay. This one's a little bit hard to do if you're by yourself, but what you can do is if you're by yourself, leave your speaker on. Yes, and then if you're at home, you can mute. If you mute Jessica and Ramona, then you won't hear them and they won't distract you when you are trying to do the art exercise. But if you're at home, you can try to follow along with them by listening to the instructions. Hopefully that sounded clear. Jessica and Ramona, turn your chairs so that your backs are facing each other this time. Lovely. Okay, so one person is going to be the drawer and one person is going to be the communicator.
Okay, can I be the communicator first? Is that okay? You want to be the communicator?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Ramona wants to be the communicator and I am going to be the drawer.
Okay, so the communicator is going to have to either find something that's right in front of them, an object. You could also, like, I think Ramona's flipping through a coloring book. That was kind of cool. Or, you know, if you're kind of in a bind and you're like, oh, there's nothing in front of me, you could also use an image on your cell phone. You know, pop up an image really quick in your cell phone, or you can also just kind of go from memory, like picture an image of an object. And so what Ramona is going to try to do is she's going to try to describe the object in very clear, simple terms. So that Jessica's challenge will be to listen to her instruction and try to draw what Ramona describes. Does that feel clear to you, Ramona and Jessica? Okay. Are you ready, Ramona? Try to when you describe, try to face the camera so people at home can hear if they want to participate. So if you're all set up at home with your partner, you can mute us for a few moments. We're going to take about 4 minutes or so. We'll see how long this takes.
That one?
Come
okay,
back.
Don't show anybody. Okay, I'm not looking. Okay.
I'm going to play along with you guys.
Okay. Okay, go ahead, Ramona.
Okay, so you're gonna draw like a medium-sized circle.
Okay.
Medium-sized circle.
Triangles on the top.
Two triangles?
Like a fingernail apart.
Fingernail apart. Okay.
Two triangles on top.
Yeah.
Okay.
With a fingernail apart. Okay.
The two fingernails.
Okay.
Then you draw like a stretched out raindrop. Like one of them is like a little bit higher than the other one, which is the one on the top is sort of pointing more.
Where am I drawing that?
Right below the ears. Not too close below the ears, just like.
Okay, a stretched out raindrop. below the ears or the triangles?
Behind
Don't tell.
beneath the triangle.
Okay, got it.
Stretched out
You don't
raindrop.
I don't know their ears. Yeah, okay.
Okay, but
Okay.
make sure it doesn't cover the whole head.
Okay.
Then,
Circle.
then you're gonna draw a line across the face. Not too much. It just goes off the edge of the tiny little.
Okay.
Wait, you have to say that like one more time.
So you're gonna draw a line across, not across the circle, but not too much. Not too much off of it, just like a tiny bit off of the circle with the triangle.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, is everyone ready?
Everyone ready? Okay, go ahead, Ramona.
I'm ready.
So then you're gonna draw then you're gonna draw two U shapes
Okay.
beneath the circles. Make sure they're just gonna be like a tiny bit apart.
The
So that
circle or the circle?
The U shapes are gonna go all the way to the end of the line. There's gonna be two, but they don't
Okay.
touch.
Okay.
No.
Okay, got it. Amber, you got it?
Yes. I don't know if I'm right. Don't look. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, then you're gonna draw a tiny little circle, but underneath, like like there's gonna be a little split part that you see. You're gonna draw like a tiny little like oval pebble shape
Okay.
in this split,
Okay.
like at the end.
Wow, you're so descriptive.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Mhm. Okay. All right. I want to kind of push us along a little bit. Can you give like a couple more instructions and then we switch?
2 more instructions.
Okay, then
Okay.
you're gonna draw a little like there's gonna be one like stretched out. Then you're gonna draw a line down in the little circle. You're gonna draw a line coming off of it, not to the end, to like until you have like a fingernail part.
Okay. Okay. A line coming off the small
Yeah.
stretched out pebble shaped circle.
And then you're gonna draw a W at the end of it. And the side on the left is gonna be a little bit bigger than the side on the right. There's
Okay.
one more. There's one more.
Well, I think should we pause here, Amber?
Yes, I think it's time to reveal.
Okay.
Okay.
Ramona,
For the purpose of time, we
Just the
will
head.
reveal. Okay, she gets to reveal the image. Oh, okay.
Okay, what
I love
does
it.
yours look like, Amber?
Okay, well, this is what mine looks like.
Oh, mine kind of looks like too.
Jeez. I feel like I went astray there a little bit, but Jess, you did a great job. It was really fun to watch you guys.
I had
And I see
direction
folks at
better.
home joining in. Fun times. I love it. Okay. I think that we are ready. I think we're going to move on just for the purpose of time so we can keep going through our presentation. Hopefully, if you didn't get a chance to switch and the other person communicates, hopefully you can do that a little bit later today.
Somebody says Heather says I'm not even close, me either.
Fun. This is such a great one for like car rides or whatever. So keep this in your pocket. Like these 2 warm-ups are just kind of like pocket activities that you can do to connect.
All right. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the why. So part of the reason why we're talking about this is because relationships are so important. This is a quote from John Bowlby. He is considered to be like the founder of attachment theory. So this quote says, "Human beings of all ages are found to be at their happiest and to be able to deploy their talents to the best advantage when they are confident that standing behind them there are more one or more trusted persons who will come to their aid should difficulties arise. The person trusted provides a secure base from which his, her, or their companion can operate. So this idea about attachment theory and the basis of relationships really tries to explain the importance of human relationships, not just in infancy, but across the lifespan. So there's lots of research and evidence that support this, that attachments are really thought to be the foundation, the building blocks of development. This is how our brains develop, with these healthy, secure attachments.
Mm.
So even in, oh, sorry, one more thing about attachment, if you could go back, and we'll get to that in just a second. But even in utero and up until 2 years, there's all this great brain research that says that the right side of the brain is developing. And we know that this side of the brain is the where you experience emotions, your right side, your emotional brain. And we know that this emotional development, the primary caregiver is really assisting with that development, with that emotional development. So the caregiver, the primary caregiver with the emotional side of the brain, is really modeling for the child how to regulate emotion, how to manage conflict and dysregulation, but also can teach them how to upregulate, like get really excited, right? And so at the very basic, we talk about this idea of the serve and the return. And so you can see this in the graphic here, that children naturally reach out for interaction. So when they're babies, they'll babble or coo, right? Cry to interact with us. And then the caregiver will respond. And we call this attunement. And attunement, again, going back to my earlier comment, attunement is that very, very foundational building block of brain development. So a little bit about attachment. Now, this is really great. So you can move to the next slide. What's really great is that art naturally offers all these opportunities to build attachment and relationship. So this idea of serving and returning, when you're drawing together, I mean, you saw Ramona and I, right? We were looking at each other. We're sitting next to each other. There's a definite serve and return that's happening. We're sitting close to each other when we're drawing. So we can be that kind of oxytocin that comes with being close to someone, and also the regulation that can happen when you're physically close to someone. And lastly, this idea of experiencing one another's self-expression, right? That I can understand you in a different way. We can have this visual and a verbal dialogue about our experiences. We can be thinking about challenging emotions or positive emotions, and we can feel seen and heard in that experience. And so what you're seeing here is a collaborative drawing that Ramona and I did when you were like, gosh, maybe like 3. And so it's of the Echo Park Lake. And so we worked on that together.
I did?
Yeah.
I love it. So when,
Yes.
oh, okay. Was there anything else, Jess?
Oh, there's lots more, but I'll pause.
I know. Okay. So yes, we want to make sure we have time for our next art activity. So when you are starting this activity, before you start, there's a slide here where I want to prompt everybody. This is for you to remember to just be curious. Be curious about what's happening. I think as a tendency when we're making art with youth or even with somebody else, a tendency that we often to say is to like assign it value, like, oh, it's pretty, oh, it's so nice, but then when we kind of think about that a little bit, then it's kind of like the child is always coming us to know if it's good or not, right? Like, did I do okay? And when we can kind of just pull back and use more curious language, we're going to get a lot more from the child, from the other person, even if it's not a child, about how it's going for them. And just, these are some suggestions, a little bit of a tip. If you can take a picture real quick with your phone, or maybe we can go back to this while we're making the art. These observational sentence starters are very helpful. Tell me about how you, I notice how you, I'm curious how you, I see how you, I wonder. And then of course, we always encourage turning mistakes into happy accidents. So I can see that a lot of us are kind of participating with maybe a grown-up today. I'm not sure how many are with littles today, but keeping that in mind, if you plan to bring this back out, maybe when your kiddos get home from school. So we're going to go right into the next art making activity, which is called a recipe for a great day. There's a number of ways that you can do this, but if you can do a recipe for a great day, a recipe for a nice and calm evening, a recipe for family connectedness, right? You can take this recipe in any direction you want. But for this specifically, if you'd like to follow, if you were going to have the best day ever, what would it look like? Thinking about what we need to help us feel good is a great skill. If we're aware of the things we need to have a great day, we're more likely to make those things happen. Some examples might be getting enough sleep, or eating a great breakfast, or spending time with friends. What are the ingredients that you need to have a great day? So this is just an example. I'm going to make another one, but I made a recipe for calm, and I just took a piece of paper and folded it in half. So I kind of got a little bit more of that recipe shape, but we have some other ideas. Maybe there's an index card. Maybe there's even a deck of cards you could repurpose, maybe an old cereal box that you could cut up, right? So I invite everybody to kind of be resourceful. Use the materials that you have at home. I might be using like a little bit of magazine and collage. And I just used my ruler. And, we can all kind of picture a recipe. There's oftentimes a little picture on one side. So I might make a little square for my picture. And then that gives me the other side to work on my ingredients. So Jess and Ramona, can you think of any other ways you might be doing this over there?
What do you think? What do you want to use?
A dictionary.
Ramona wants to cut up her dictionary.
Oh, well, I guess that's going to be
We'll discuss.
a conversation. Yeah, because we had the idea that you could even use like an old cookbook, a dusty cookbook you have on the shelf. Maybe as a family, as a partnership, as friends, you can make up lots of different recipes.
We've got some magazine collage too that I think we might use. And then I was also thinking, for those of you at home that have these types of materials, you can think about maybe some other more three-dimensional materials. Maybe it becomes, because I have a little bit of clay or maybe some found objects. And so it could be almost like a scene too of your great day. Maybe going to the park and then going to Disneyland.
Yeah, exactly. So I can see everybody getting started, and I want to be sure we have a little bit of time for share. So I'm going to have you just go ahead, put any questions you might have in the chat, and I'll set the timer. We'll put a little bit of music on for about 10 minutes. And I know that's not a whole lot of time, but wait a minute. We can do a little longer than 10 minutes. I was realizing the time. We're done at 1:30. That's right. Okay, so yes, we will put 15 minutes. How does that sound for everybody? 15 minutes, plenty of time to collaborate, to ask questions. 15 minutes, a little bit of music on, you can mute yourself, and then we'll come back, and then you all can get an opportunity to share if you'd like to. That
Got
sounds good. Okay. Hit it, Heidi. Ooh, and if you are home, tilt your screen. That is cool. We get to see your process if you want to. We have about 5 minutes left. About 2 minutes left, everybody. About 20 seconds left. So you want to be putting your final touches on. Again, you don't have to be done right now. You can always come back to this.
Looks like it's smelling.
And that has been 15 minutes of art making. I love it. Now I have a recipe for calm and a recipe for creativity. Love it. I'm gonna find a little recipe box to keep these in. How'd I go for you, Jess and Ramona? And we'll open it up to everybody who's here if anyone else wants to share.
I don't know if ours is a recipe for calm, but why don't you show what we did?
Oh, it could be a recipe for anything.
Our recipe is not calm. Our recipe is action-packed. We're gonna go to Universal Studios.
No, Universal Doggy.
Universal Doggio. And so instead of people, it's just gonna be full of dogs.
Up for adoption.
Up for adoption because we really like dogs. And then
Wait, I want to add something.
oh, she's gonna continue to add things.
Wait.
Okay. Can't wait too long. There's a lot going on. We came up with a lot of ideas.
Well, I love the way that you collaborated. Oh, get a cat. You want a cat?
Oh yeah, get a cat.
You don't have enough going on over there.
Yeah, we have a lot of
Dogs.
And then we'll end the day by drinking tea on a mountain safari to find snow leopards. No big deal.
Thanks for modeling the process for us. If everyone wants to turn to gallery view, and then we can kind of see who's here and see if anybody maybe use your hand emoji to, share if you want, like no pressure, right? But if anyone does want to share. Thank you. I see Isabel sharing. Did you want to say anything?
Hi. This was a really great activity. I have my coworker Jimmy with me today.
Hi, Jimmy.
How y'all doing?
And we thought this was just a really great activity for students that we work with, to really get to know them, or to even ask them like, what would a great day at school look like for you, for those kids who are struggling in attending at school. So it was really fun to do.
You want to share your recipe for a great day?
Yeah, my recipe for a great day is friends and family, warmth and having a full heart, laughter, being at a beach, a pool, a lake, a river, anywhere where there's water, and having a good barbecue cookout.
Oh, that sounds amazing. That's
Thank
so great.
y'all.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to share? Oh, Michelle, do you want to share?
Sure. Recipe for calm for me is getting friends together for a dinner. So the whole process of planning, hand making everything, because I usually do Italian, so I make the noodles from scratch, the sauce from scratch and everything, because I find cooking calming, and then getting together and just enjoying.
Love that. I can relate. That sounds great.
A recipe for a recipe.
Yeah.
Very meta.
Anybody else? Oh, Delia and Dina?
Yeah, I'm Dina. This is Delia. And my recipe includes sleep, my baby, Delia, my husband at the beach with yummy food, and a nap. And I added laughing because I think Isabel mentioned laughing. So this is a picture of us at the beach. I think I'm the one in the ocean floating because I love to do that. So that's Delia lying down with an orange in her hand and some strawberries beside her, and my baby and my husband reading his iPad.
Oh, I love that. I love also too the nap. Thank you for sharing. All right.
Glad that you all shared. Yes, I love the idea of like a little box, like a little, I'm thinking of grandma's recipe box with all of those great recipes. And of course, I'm always thinking about students. If we have any teachers here, holler. This is a great activity, right? You could do some recipes for your classroom with your kiddos.
Yeah, absolutely. I love Isabel's comments about a great day at school. What does that look like for certain kids? I think that's really great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let's see. Let's recap a little bit. We can go back to the last slide. So we want to talk about what just happened. What just happened in relationships, in regards to relationships, right? Those important things that are necessary for development and building of relationships. Here's an image of a family maybe creating some art together, and we've kind of highlighted on this image what can be happening, right? So we've got the regulation, like sitting close to each other, just the physical closeness, the calming breath, the physical touch. Those are very regulating. The smiling. Oh yes, Ramona's. Yeah, especially the little kid is smiling, right? And so he's kind of smiling at this other person. The attunement, that serve and return that can happen when you're engaging in an activity together. The expression, so they appear to be drawing down here. So sharing in one another's expression, feeling seen and heard, and all of the different pieces that make you uniquely you, right? Feeling accepted in those expressions can really help deepen relationships. And then even just the tactile nature of making art can have a regulating effect. You saw Ramona, she was coloring probably the majority of our time together, because it's a little hard to sit for an hour and a half as a 9-year-old. So she's just engaging in that sensory activity of coloring, and so that can be calming on our nervous systems. So just emphasizing that really, really simple act of sitting together and making a piece of art, making an image. Maybe it's not art, just an image, creating something together can have such a big, big, big impact on your relationship.
Absolutely. And like doing it with youth, doing it side by side at their level, face to face. You make one, they make one, and you share, or you make one together. So really, really beautiful. And I have to say, let's hear it for Ramona.
Come back here, Ramona.
Thank you for Ramona.
You're a great assistant. Yeah. All right. Do we have any, I think now we have a little bit of time for some thoughts or questions. We can open it up before we'll have Heidi give her announcements. Anybody have any thoughts or questions, additions, things that you're doing that you want to share with the group that are building, deepening relationships? Oh, I see Anna. Anna, go ahead.
Hi, can you see me? I'm not sure if I can.
Yeah, we can see you. Hi.
Okay. Hi, thank you so much for the presentation. It was really just helpful in many ways. But I really liked the opener that you had, like the sheep scale. How do you feel? And I wondered if you do that in person settings, like how would that look? Because I know you had a digital image, but I just wonder how that would translate with groups.
We have done it with groups definitely before. And I think what we typically do, or what we have done, is we can show it and then we do it like a little pair share, right? So instead of everybody sharing how they feel, depending on the age, you did this in kindergarten, I mean, there's your whole day. Like you're gonna be sitting there all day. But having people just kind of share, do a pair share, can be helpful too. Or having people just show on their hand too. That's another opportunity. Like show on your hand, what sheep are you? And they can hold their hand up so everybody can feel seen and heard. That's a good one too.
And I also too, you can play around with it, but there's a lot of these different like visual check-ins. So I saw one that was a puppy scale, and there's a whole bunch. You just kind of have to Google for images, but you can print it out. And it's also if kids are maybe a little bit older, or if it's in the morning and maybe they might not be so vocal, they can point. You can kind of pass around the PDF, the print, and they can point to it. So that's another way that you can do it.
Too, like I think you could have like, depending, maybe you switch it out to keep engagement, but you can have it maybe posted when kids walk into the classroom, and they can like move like a little marker to how they're feeling. That could be kind of fun too. Thanks for your question.
Thank you.
Other thoughts, questions?
I just
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say this has been, I don't know what to expect. And so this was really great. It feels we're doing this, we're at work, but it feels like we're elsewhere. Like we're not here at work. And so being able to do this and do this together, it's really special. I was telling Dina that, to do this during the day, during the work day, it feels like a nice respite and recharge for whatever the afternoon might bring.
That's a wonderful to hear. Yeah. Well, and adults need those relationships too. I think we're focusing here on children, but as we know, all that research out there, the importance of adult relationships. Yeah. Thank you for sharing.
Jessica, there's a couple of questions in the chat.
Okay, let's see. How can you respond with a child that may quickly lose interest and or get frustrated with some of the activities? Ooh, that's
Ramona?
a good.
What do you think?
I think it depends on the setting. I think that if you have the time and it affords it, I wouldn't push these activities in a home environment, right? Because you want it to be enjoyable. So in that case, you might try something different, or really it doesn't matter what the activity is, right? I think the idea is that you're just spending time with your kid and engaging with them in a way that they want to be engaged with. So, for example, Gio, who is my other little person, he's 6. And we were trying to do one of these activities with him, and he got really frustrated. And so we just let him go. But then he came back and he wanted to just do like stenciling of like cars. So we just very quickly transitioned. I said, okay, let's do that. And we did stenciling with cars. So I think that really following the child's lead is paramount, and not being fixated on not necessarily what it is. Amber, do you want to add?
I love just how you also talk about like takes. Okay, this was take 1. What's take 2 gonna be? I think that's a really nice metaphor of like, okay, so this part was really frustrating. Take 2. Let's reset. How are we gonna change this? How can we, validate that they're frustrated and not lose our patience? Because that can be easy to happen for us, right? They become frustrated, we become frustrated. So that's what we mean when we say co-regulation. It's keeping that very calm tone and saying, like celebrating mistakes. Like, okay, this is an opportunity for another take. And just, I know it's really hard, but really trying to breathe so that you can co-regulate with your own nervous system so that it can help them keep that sense of calm to work through their frustration. So it's a great learning opportunity. And so I think that's a helpful shift to think about.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think too, like in that attunement, in that situation, I can attune with my 6-year-old and say, yeah, that is frustrating, right? So I can match and validate his emotional experience, but then I can model how I am regulating that, right? So, wow, that's really frustrating. I'm gonna take a deep breath. Wow, I'm gonna walk away for a minute and then I'm gonna come back, right? So you can be doing that sort of modeling of the dysregulation, how to calm your body in those moments. Yeah, let's see. Other questions? Carla. Oh, hi, Carla. This is such a great recharge. I appreciate the time and the space. Thanks, Carla. And is there a simple rhyme or something silly to reset? Well, I think that that go-to, it's a take one, take two. I've used that. Do I have any other rhymes? I can't think of any rhymes off the top of my head. Do you have any, Amber?
Oh, well, oh, I know I have some good ones. But just that, I like also like, okay, if they're saying like, I don't like it, teacher, I need a new paper, right? That's what we're gonna hear a lot, right? Teacher. Or even, someone at home, but it's like, okay, we don't like it yet, right?
Yeah.
Like happy accidents, and just like those catchphrases I think are helpful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I think Heidi is going to make her announcements, but I just want to say thank you for your attention, your participation, your risk taking and sharing and participating. We're really happy to be here.
Just at gratitude to Amber and Jessica for leading us through such an interactive and collaborative hope session. This was a new twist for us to have you all potentially bring someone with you. So appreciation again for kind of stepping outside of our typical hope session format, and for spending part of your day with us. We'd just like to acknowledge the Los Angeles Department of Arts and Culture. They do support this series, and so we're very appreciative of that support and being able to keep it for a no-cost registration fee. And also, please be on the lookout for a brief survey. I also did put it in the chat. So it's really helpful for us if you can take that survey and just give us your on today's session, what you would like to see on future topics. It really helps us ensure that we can best continue to serve the Hope community. So that information will be following this afternoon as well in your email with some resources from Jessica and Amber. And yes, we'll be sure to add the sheep check-in and where you can find those as well. I do want to just do a little bit of a shout out for some of our upcoming workshops. Next Saturday, we do have our Mindful Creativity for Resilience retreat. And there is some information in the chat. If you use the code in the chat, I'm also sending this in email. If you use it before Sunday evening, it drops the sliding scale down to 19. Which is an amazing fee for this day. We have a plenary of an incredible music therapist, drum circle facilitator, and then there'll be 2 sessions, one in the morning and one in the afternoon that you get to choose from. There's a wide range of topics from art journaling, there's integrative medicine topic, there's some other art of self-care. Some previous Hope facilitators are on that list too. So if you have been to a number of sessions, you might see some familiar faces as well. So we really hope that you're able to join us next Saturday. We built this with a lot of feedback from our past Hope surveys, in really what some of our audience was really looking and kind of needing again in that kind of like reset, rejuvenate type of setting. So feel free to use that code anytime before Sunday. If you need additional financial assistance, you're always welcome to reach out to me as well. And I hope that you all have a wonderful weekend. We look forward to seeing you at a future Hope workshop. And thank you again, Jessica, Ramona, and Amber.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
And
Thank you.